I'm Joe Pullium. I work for Jackson Kayak, and I have avoided a title as much as I can, but they call me the head coach. And I live in Greenville, South Carolina, which is about an hour and a half from where we are now here at the Chattooga River. Well, I thought a canoe was really cool until I saw a kayak, and I saw it was even more exotic, and I just thought a kayak was the coolest thing that could ever be. So it's been almost 40 years now, and for most of that time I've made my kayaking and building kayaks mostly my profession, and have been involved with with a lot of the different companies, starting with Perception and then moving on to Dagger, which I started with a group of friends in 1988. And it's been not only an occupation or a vocation, but it is a lifestyle. And one of the great things about this business is you get to travel worldwide. You know some of the greatest people in the world, and you get to see the world from a perspective that few people do. So really, since my days at Clemson, my life has largely evolved and revolved around kayaking. I met my wife Lucy. Our first date, if you will, was on Section 2 of the Chattooga. We borrowed a Grumman aluminum canoe, and she wanted to paddle Section 3 of the Chattooga, but by the time I finally got her to do that, she realized she was more interested in flat water than white water, so she has more remained a canoeist while I pursued kayaking, which was a lot more fun. I met a guy named Bill Masters who had a couple of molds and had been building boats for a year or two, and we started building boats after school in his backyard. And then we started paddling a lot during school and missing class and coming up to the Chattooga and getting a quick trip in on Section 4. And all through this time we're in fiberglass boats. The group of us that had been paddling at Clemson basically became what now is known as Perception, and started making plastic boats in 1978. And it was over the next few years we started learning, okay, there's some things we can do different now. We don't have to take the same lines that we used to, and started running some of the rapids a little differently, and where if you knew you were going to hit a rock, that's okay now. You didn't have to go back and fix your boat. Then of course boats got shorter and got better, more comfortable, and more high performance, could do more things with them. And I think probably the first that really stands out was the Perception Mirage, because that was, in my mind, the first plastic boat that really had some decent performance in it. It was still a 4-meter boat, still a 13-foot long boat. And then the next evolution was the Dancer, which it was hugely successful, and being a couple feet shorter allowed us to do some new things and go some new places. That was a milestone. The Perception Saber was really fun, and starting to learn to squirt. We'd take the sabers and squish them so they'd squirt better, and had a lot of fun on the Chattooga with those. Then that led into the Dagger days, and made a couple trips down here, paddled, and I started paddling canoe a lot more in those early Dagger days because that's where we started. The RPM though is probably the most fun of all, and it had the playfulness, the slicey rear end, but still had enough speed. And of course at the Chattooga you paddle across the lake at the bottom, so any boat with speed is a big plus. And I've enjoyed paddling a lot of the Jackson boats now on the Chattooga. My boat of choice mostly has been the Hero, but it lacks something that I really miss on the Chattooga, and that is that real zippy kind of speed. And I am so excited to be here today. We're going to put the first batch of production Zens on the water, and the Zen was designed largely with this type of paddling in mind. It's going to be playful, no doubt, but first and foremost, it's a boat that has that feeling, that zippy feeling, that feeling that when you make a move and you lean it up on edge and you turn into that eddy, it just cuts in there so fast, and you feel so confident about being able to make a certain move. I've been lucky to paddle all over the world and paddle hundreds and hundreds of rivers, but the Chattooga's home. I don't come as often as I did when I was a college student or when I was at Perception in the early and mid 80s, but still try to get up here once every 2 or 3 weeks. It's great to be back here today, and really great to be back here on this river with a new boat and with the Jackson crowd. And while they may be showing you the new school moves, what that boat's really capable of, maybe I'll show them a few old school moves along the way, and I suspect I'll have as much fun, if not more fun, than any of them.